Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome to the sixth edition of Unpopular Opinion. Today we will be talking about, of course, AC Milan. We'll be talking about the Champions League. We'll be talking about the Serie A. And a lot of interesting reports coming out regarding the potential um, transfers that can happen this summer. So we're going to be going over those as well. So let's start with, first of all, by saying hi to everybody in chat. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Velko Vazic, Forza Milan. Weizu, how you doing? Yes, we'll be talking about Loftus Cheeks. I'll give you my opinion on him. Christian Pasmino, Senior Green, Antonio, D5. How is everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, guys. So let's get straight into it. Let's talk about, let's do a quick analysis of the Champions League. And let me tell you why, in the end, I think that objectively speaking, if we take emotions aside and feelings and we look at everything from a very neutral perspective, a very objective perspective, I can't but say that this was an exceptional season in Europe for AC Milan, especially where we are at in the growth of our project, and even with the limited roster that we have this season, I think that AC Milan reaching the semi-final of the Champions League after so many years, since 2007. So almost 20 years. It's been almost 20 years since we haven't achieved this. And when you do get this far, of course it's sour. Of course it hurts being kicked out of the semifinal. Even worse when it's Inter that kicks you out. But when you look at the overall picture, you have to be satisfied with the progress of the team. Now, of course, I've said this many times, and I keep on saying this, that this team, unfortunately, does not have an adequate roster to be able to compete in both competitions and be successful in both competitions. And it was clear that when we decided as a club to prioritize the Champions League, it hurt us in the Serie A quite a lot. And it is what it is. Anyway, now we're out of the Champions League. I want to talk a little bit about the game and give you my analysis of the game and tell you what I thought about the game. But I also want to talk about, first of all, let's do this. Let's do what adults should be doing, what competitive adults with integrity should be doing. Let's give Inter their flowers. Congratulations to Inter. It was a deserved win. They beat us 2-0 in the home tie, and they beat us 1-0 in the away tie. So they didn't steal anything. They deserved to go through. They were the better team. Congratulations to Inter for having a great Champions League run this year. Kicking out teams like Barcelona that's not an easy feat. Kicking out the Portuguese teams. We all know how difficult the Portuguese teams are to play against. Porto, team that we struggled against last year. And Benfica, team that has been just ripping teams apart all year round. And now they beat us. A game that, a big pressure game where you need to be on top of your shit. And now they have this opportunity to win the Champions League. Very difficult, if you ask me, having seen how City is performing, especially after City ripped into Real Madrid 4-0. Very difficult for Inter to go all the way, but City are the clear favorites for that game. It even might look like City will sweep Inter away, but regardless of that, congratulations to Inter. I will be the adult in the room. I'll be the guy that is not a fucking salty loser. And I will just say congratulations to Inter. They deserve the final, and they deserve to beat us. Nothing stolen. So let's move on to AC Milan and the second game. So my first impression of the game was that I did not see a fantastic football match all around. I didn't think that nor Milan or Inter had an incredible performance. I think that Milan, most of all, Our team was subpar. Nobody had a spectacular performance aside Mike Magnan, who looked very good, as always, between the sticks. Mike Magnan is 100% the top G of this team. He is the star of this team. He is the real Maradona of this team. It is nobody else but Mike Magnan. And once again, Mike Magnan delivered. A true leader, our best signing since Ricardo Kaká. And everybody else in Milan, I didn't see anything special from anybody else in Milan. Rock was at the stadium. He's going to have a live also one of these days, and he's going to talk about his experience in the stadium and what he saw. I did speak to Rock about it, and we basically had the same analysis pretty much of the players that we thought were the best on the pitch. And we both agreed that the two best players on the pitch was Lautaro Martinez, who had a fantastic game. Lautaro Martinez had a great game, and Mike Magnan. Those were the two best players on the pitch of the day. But overall, it wasn't this spectacular showing of football. It wasn't a great game that, let's say, put Italy in this great pedestal. But anyway, regardless of the matter, I do want to say congratulations to AC Milan and Paolo Maldini for, even though having such a negative season domestically, for being able to instill in this squad the belief of being able to go so far into the Champions League. Again, it's been almost 20 years since we have achieved this. It's been almost 20 years. We can't just snub this and put it under the rug. We have to acknowledge the fact that this team, in certain ways, is progressing. There is progression. There is positivity out of all this mess that the season has been. There have been positive notes. So I've got nothing to say but bravo Milan for doing this. And let's hope that we can continue this. Let's hope that AC Milan can build a team that is capable of performing in the Champions League and the Serie A at the same time. And we need to do that. The only way to do that is to have a very good roster where you can do rotations, and those rotations will guarantee you quality and wins in the Serie A. So that is my quick analysis of the AC Milan Inter game. Now we're going to go into the Serie A. We have 3 games left, and Sampdoria, Juventus, and Verona. Of course, we need to win all 3 of these games to hope and dream that we make in the top 4. And we also need to hope that some of the teams above us lose points. Another thing that could propel us into the top 4 is that Juventus gets their points reducted, and that's another way for us to end up in the top 4 if we finish 5th, of course. So we need to first make sure that we win all 3 of these games. Can we win all 3 of these games? I think absolutely yes, because right now we don't need to be worrying about the Champions League anymore. Pioli doesn't need to be worrying about managing players and rotations. He knows what his best team is. He knows who the best players are, and we can rely on these players. It's up to the players to deliver. It's up to the players on the pitch to deliver and to make things happen. Against Sampdoria, I'm expecting to see our best 11. Against Juventus, I'm expecting to see our best 11. And against Verona, I'm expecting to see our best 11. What are the excuses? I don't think there are going to be any excuses. So it's going to be an interesting final stretch of this marathon, which is called Serie A. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see if Milan can win these games. And let's hope. Let's be optimistic. All right, let's go to chat, and then we're going to go to some of these topics that have come out regarding the transfer market. So let's see. Let's go to chat first. I don't want to be that salty, annoying fan, but the ref was an Interista. Can't tell me otherwise. I think even though they're fan, but I think at the end of the day, even if the referee was not fair, you have to admit that Inter deserved to go through. Not the only reason we lost, though. Cardinal is at fault for a whole season. Yes, 100%. The ownership failed this team. That this previous summer was an absolute disaster. I'm expecting to see a much better summer this year. I don't think Maldini will be faced with the same issues, but I do have concerns with some of the names that are being linked with AC Milan, and we're going to be talking about them. I'm scared this means not as big of investment from Redbird. We'll see. Time will tell. Redbird, aka Brockbird, never give us funds for this summer. Yep. And also the funds, and also we have to admit that with the funds that were given to us, we just did not get the right signings. And the thing is, like, okay, we can give Maldini a little bit of slack because there are teams that are given like huge amounts of funds, and it's easier to make mistakes when you have huge amounts of funds. When you only have a limited amount of funds, the margin for error is non-existent. So, it is what it is. We can't break. We can't get a break. I said this. We had a big chance to invest and take risks last summer, but the owner and the management failed, and Pioli and the players failed this season. It's everyone's fault. Is it everyone's fault? Is it really everyone's fault? Yeah, I don't know if I completely agree with that. I do think that the ownership really dropped the ball. I think that I don't know what it is about AC Milan, but this summer reminded me a lot of 2007. When we won the Champions League in 2007, it really felt like, okay, now it's time to inject the team with new quality and reinvigorate this team and make it into, another cycle, create another super cycle. In 2007, under Berlusconi, we win the Champions League, and then we just go the opposite route. We do not strengthen the roster. We add these useless signings and we lose players. And yeah, so this year kind of reminded me of 2007. We win the league, the management, the ownership gets complacent. They think, I don't know, they think it's going to be easy the next season, but it turns out that, just putting any player and giving them an AC Milan shirt does not translate in victory. You need to be very careful with your signings. As a matter of fact, the summer before, when we confirmed Tonali, confirmed Tomori, confirmed Giroud, right? We got Giroud, we got Florenzi, we got Messias, we got Mike Magnan. That was a fucking brilliant summer mercato. That was a brilliant summer mercato that brought us the Scudetto, and in the Champions League we were robbed. But that was a brilliant summer mercato. This year was just the complete opposite. You win the Scudetto and you take a step back. To me, that makes no sense. I don't understand. It's the second time I see AC Milan do this. It's 2007, and now once again, you win a major trophy, then you take a step back. I don't understand this. It pisses me off. It really makes me angry. If he had been a Sir, would have been a different story, but that comes down to no depth, and that's Brokebird's fault. Yes, absolutely. And there you go. That's a great example to bring up. We lose a major player like Benacer. Who do we replace him? We don't really have a replacement for him. We have to play Messias, Diaz, and Leao. Very unbalanced team. Now, not that Inter has this incredible depth, but at least you see the difference. Inter lose Mkhitaryan. Who do they bring in? Brozovic. Brozovic is he's like what he semi-finalist in the World Cup, beat Brazil in the World Cup. He was a finalist not too long ago in the World Cup. It's like that's the difference. That's the difference. That's where it is. Maybe Juve and Roma in Europa semis and possibly finals. They drop points in league and we can recover and get top four. Maybe, yeah, absolutely. That could be something to look at. Hello, what's up, Amir? We don't want this racist guy Arnautovic in our team. I'm not a big fan of Arnautovic. I think he's a little bit old for my liking. Like 34. I mean, 34 is not that old, but still. I'm not excited about the Arnautovic signing either. Really, Loftus-Cheek, guys, this is another one. To me, Loftus-Cheek is another CDK, another Origi. I am very disappointed with us being linked with Loftus-Cheek. This, to me, feels like, if this is true, even Fabrizio Romano is saying that Milan is in advanced talks with Loftus-Cheek, and this is going to be one of our summer signings. I mean, this needs to be the bottom. If you want to categorize our signings in a table of who's the best or who is the worst, Loftus-Cheek has to be the worst. if he is our best signing of the summer, guys, next year is going to be worse than this year. Next year is going to be worse than this year. So get ready, get prepared if that's the case. Again, I don't want to jump the gun. We don't really know what the summer is going to bring. Maybe the summer is going to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, look at Napoli. Napoli, all the way up until June, July, they were a team that they had brought some really good signings. But then it was August. In August, they brought in those last three signings, and everything, like, nobody expected that. Nobody expected Napoli to make those signings. So I'm just saying, same thing can happen with Milan. Maybe we start off the summer slow, and then in August we bring in three or four major signings that change everything. But if Loftus-Cheek is the top dog, is the major investment of our summer, guys, be ready for Banter Era Part 2. Be ready for Banter Era Part 2. The Rod Barca, let's be honest. Oh, you're talking about Inter. Yeah, there was some controversial calls that, Inter was definitely lucky for sure, because there were some controversial calls. I remember, I think it was like a handball that wasn't called. Commando will be a replacement for Brahim Diaz, but Loftus-Cheek, who did he get any game time and not? Oh, you mean Kamada? Guys, I'm not too familiar with Kamada. We're going to check out Kamada today, and we're going to analyze Kamada today. We're going to look at his videos. We're going to analyze his technical abilities. We're going to look at his numbers. This is a player that I still have yet to discover and have a concrete opinion on. Kamada is a player that is being heavily linked to AC Milan. They're saying that Kamada is they're linking Kamada pretty strongly to Milan. But I want to remind you guys, let's not fall for this trap. I fall for these traps quite often, actually. Like, for example, Arar, a few months ago, they were saying that Milan was in advanced talks with Arar, free agent. This is going to happen for sure. And now Arar seems to be going to Roma. So let's not think that Kamada is going to happen. Loftus-Cheek instead looks like it is going to happen, which is extremely disappointing. Roy, have you seen the Argentinian kid we're linked with, Claudio Echeverri? He looked like the next big thing from Argentina. No, that's the first time I hear his name. Loftus-Cheek is very good. His wages are way too high. I don't think he's very good at all. And if they're way too high, that's no good either. Like the video so we can buy Loftus-Cheek. Okay. Like the video, please. Please like the video, guys. I really appreciate it. If you do, it helps us. Please like the video. I pray we don't sign Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We need Verratti, Jorginho, quality midfielder. Yes, we need. Look, one of the metrics that I use to understand whether or not a 27, 28-year-old is a good player is he a national team starter? Meaning, when the national team plays the major tournaments, is he at least on the bench? Is he a starter? Is he at least on the bench? That is the metric. Because the guys that are starting in the national teams are the guys that are being chosen and selected because they are the best in their national pool. Loftus-Cheek, where is Loftus-Cheek in the selection of the English national pool? He's not even in the top 6. He's seventh. He's 8th. It's Origi, guys. We're getting another Origi. This is another Origi. I don't get it. I really don't understand. What are we doing? Like, one thing if we get a 22-year-old Loftus-Cheek or 23-year-old Loftus-Cheek, you don't know. Maybe he is going to become England's best next midfielder. But at 27, 28, you already know who he is. You already know who he is. Hi, Roy. I'm glad to see some patient fans like you whom you would pick from these 3 players: Kamada, Ndika, Tielemans, Thuram, and Asensio. Okay, so Kamada we're going to look at today. I don't know him yet. Ndika is a fabulous player. Unfortunately, it seems like he is being linked to Roma. It looks like he is actually joining Roma. Tielemans, I'm not a huge fan of Tielemans, but he's better than Loftus-Cheek in my opinion. Thuram looks to be a very interesting striker, even though technically I'm not crazy about him. Asensio probably is the one with the most quality out of all these players. He's probably the one with the most experience and quality, and also his age is good. So Asensio would be my top pick out of these names that you're putting here. Kamada, again, is a player that I do not know at all, and we're going to discover him today. Not signing Di Maria, Dybala, or Colomani is criminal, guys. What did Maldini say? It is interesting how Maldini used the international stage to really show us what he thought. He said, in these past days that, we had the chance to sign Dybala. Dybala would have been even cheaper than signing CDK, but the ownership wants these young players and potentially grow these young players. We're not interested in buying already made players. But then there was a counter argument made by the Gazzetta dello Sport regarding Origi. And the counter argument is, if Maldini says, look, we didn't get Dybala because the ownership wanted to get younger players, the counter argument of the Gazzetta dello Sport, which was actually quite good in my opinion, was, well, so why did you get Origi? Because Origi is not a young player. Origi is 27, 28, and his wages aren't that far off of what Dybala's wages are. So there seems to be confusion. One take that I got from these past days with Maldini's interviews and the way he has been talking, it seems to me like there's a big disconnect between the ownership and the management. The ownership wants Dortmund. The ownership wants Ajax. The ownership wants Roma. Milan, Maldini wants Milan. Maldini wants Real Madrid. Maldini wants the top. And it seems like there's this tug of war happening between the ownership and the management. And there's a lot of compromise that needs to be happening. I mean, let's be honest. The ownership didn't even know after they bought this club that AC Milan is the second most titled team in Europe. They didn't even know that. Jerry Cardinale spent $1 billion without even knowing that AC Milan is the team with the second most Champions League. So there's a huge disconnect between the ownership and the management. It looks like things are going to get very difficult. But let's see. Let's not be, I don't want to be pessimistic. I still believe that this summer, because we're not facing a Maldini that has to renew his own contract, and we're not facing a change of ownership, I think that this summer is going to be arguably much better than the previous summer. Instead, we bring Des, CDK, and Origi. Yeah, Forza Milan, Alan. How you doing, man? Sir, what's going on? And I can't believe we're losing out on Dika to Roma. It is bad. I do want to say, though, this summer we did get one player, which I think was an absolute genius signing. And I believe, like I said many times, many people will be calling this a genius signing, and it is Chao. Chao has been an excellent signing. I'm looking forward to Chao's development. I think we got a gem of a player there. AC Milan Primavera are safe from relegation. That's very good news. Excellent. We can't have an average summer transfer market. We need to make big moves. Absolutely, 100%. I like Kamada. He looks like he can add something to this team. Let's find out. Let's find out about him. Kamada is a very smart signing. We can't start marketing the Japan since it's a growing fan base, and he's also get decent numbers and cheaper if we don't sign Brahim. Guys, we're going to find out about him. Don't worry about it. Let's do that right after this. Finally, Paul KB says, Loftus-Cheek is a good midfielder. Understand the fan base is a ready player. We need ready players. Yet you let wait. We need ready players. You lot got this right. I'll get both RLC and Kamada. Take them both. Man, if I was Fiorentina, I'd be happy with RLC. If I was Fiorentina, I'd be happy with RLC. But if I'm Milan, I want to have the players that are in the national teams. I want the players that are being selected for the national teams. I don't want the reserves, because the reserves, most of the time, 95% of the time, are not going to be the players that you think they're going to be. They're not going to be the players that you think they're going to be. Forza Milan per sempre. Ciao, come stiamo? Luigi Timpano, come stai? Forza Milan. Forza Milan, spero che tutto va bene. I'm doing good, Luigi. Why is Roma always getting quality free players? Yeah, good question. Why is Roma getting all these quality free players and we are not? I think it's a different philosophy. If you want to analyze that, there is a difference in philosophy with the clubs. The ownership of Milan wants these young players and wants to grow players. We don't want to get I don't know. It's messed up. Tielemans down tools. Not a big fan. Can shoot from range and that. Yeah, but Tielemans, at least we know he is a starter in the Belgium squad. You know, he's a starter. He's a starter midfielder in the Belgian squad. That's the metric. I believe we keep Arrigo for another year. We'll see much better Arrigo. Trust me, Maldini is Arrigo 20. That gives me hope. I freaking hope we sell Arrigo. We need to get much better replacements in the summer. Okay, let's keep on going. Maldini job a risk, maybe, as the owners might be mad because he was being asked for a bigger budget. Yeah. It does look like they're going to be. It does look like they're going to be questioning Maldini's future. Of course, I think it's normal. RLC good for depth. Mamma mia, guys. I don't know. I have much bigger. I don't know. Maybe my standards are different. That's all I got to say. This English spices are mostly BL players do not translate in Serie A. If anything, Serie A players always take the EPL by storm. I want Thuram and Firmino on a free signing for the strike position next season. That's not bad, you know. I mean, I think Thuram is one of the best French strikers right now. So that tells you something. And Firmino, for me, I think would be a decent signing. Yeah, we need Americans. Get me Dest. 25 million depth is horrible. I can't believe if we spend. I don't know, guys. I'm very disappointed in all of this. All right, let's see. What are they saying about Loftus Cheeks? What are they saying? Let's see. So Fabrizio Romano says, keen. Cheeks is keen on the move and that the negotiation is progressing very well, suggesting that things are ready on the way to being completed ahead of the summer. Loftus-Cheek has been with Chelsea since 2004. Damn, when he was 80 years old, coming through the academy at Cobham before making his first team debut in 2014 in the Champions League against Sporting. His deal expires in 2024, and he's no longer seems to be a guaranteed starter with the Blues, so could look for a new experience to relaunch his career at the age of 27. Oh, mamma mia, ragazzi. Mamma mia, ragazzi. I'm so disappointed. I am so disappointed. It hurts. It hurts to hear this. It really hurts me to hear this. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Okay. Interesting here. Gazzetta dello Sport. Let's see what this says regarding Pioli's future. So Pioli obviously is going to be the biggest subject in the AC Milan universe coming up, 100%. The AC Milan ownership have great respect for Stefano Pioli and they intend to stick with him, but a strong end to the season is needed. This morning editions of La Gazzetta dello Sport, as seen below, writes how the game against Sampdoria, Juventus, and Verona are the ones that Milan must win to try and secure qualification for the next edition of the Champions League. Now, let's remember something that Maldini said in the interviews, in the post-match interviews this past week, is if Milan finish in top four with the Champions League semi-final achievement for Maldini this season is an 8 out of 10 if we finish in top four, because Maldini, like many of us here, acknowledges the fact that this team is not really at the level of even Inter in this current moment. It's a team that is doing very well. We have the great elements in this team, but he knows, like all of us know, that there's still a lot missing into this puzzle. But so I agree with this. If Milan finish in the top four and a Champions League final, it is a great season in the end for AC Milan. It could have been even better, we can argue, of course. Being back in Europe's top club competition is a decisive milestone for the sporting and financial development of the project, and without it, the leadership would be forced into reflections. Now, that's the thing. Like, if you are going to analyze this season and you're going to think, what should we do with Pioli? You can't just pretend that we didn't get to a semi-final of the Champions League. Again, I want to remind everybody, it's been almost 20 years. Guys, in the span of 20 years, a baby is born, he goes through childhood, he goes through adulthood, and some of them already graduate from college. So we're talking about in the lifespan of a young adult person, that's how long it took for AC Milan to get back into a Champions League final. Almost. It's been almost 20 years. Not quite 20 years, but almost 20 years. So let's not forget that the Champions League semi-final is a milestone that the management can't just neglect. They can't just say, well, Pioli was shit this season. No, he did something that Milan hasn't been able to do for almost 20 years. With a team that is arguably worse overall than prior teams that had the chance to get into semifinals. But yes, top four is going to be one of the major discussions. In theory, the games against already relegated Sampdoria and relegation threat in Verona are the ones Milan should win, but Juve are in second while waiting for their new punishment, and a trip to the Alliance Stadium is never easy. Of course. However, this season Milan have failed to beat Lecce twice. Lost heavily at home to Sassuolo, drew with Salernitana, lost against Udinese, Fiorentina, and Spezia, while also failing to beat Empoli, Bologna, or Cremonese. 100%. The Serie A this season has been tough to watch. Pioli will be able to rely on his key performances with the Champions League run, but they are worn out by an intense season, and there are therefore no guarantees that the team will win all three games, something that is surely needed to finish fourth. And again, we need other teams to drop points for us to finish fourth. The ideal is to qualify for the 23-24 edition of the Champions League by finishing fourth, but even getting fifth could be enough, as Juve are waiting the judgment of the Federal Court of Appeal with the hypothesis of a penalty that would demote them from the podium. If the Rossoneri were to limp over the finish line early next month, then Jerry Cardinale would be forced into decisions. Pioli signed an agreement last October until the summer of 2025 at $4 million net per season. So for a club that focuses on financial prudence, paying two coaches wouldn't make much sense. Another thing to consider, guys, I don't think this Milan, who is so stingy with their money, would want to keep a salary that is not being used, especially $4 million net, which is quite a lot. In addition to that, Pioli enjoys the esteem of a property. He was the coach who picked up a team in confusion after the brief management of Marco Giampaolo, taking them into the Europa League, then into the Champions League, winning the Scudetto, and now reaching a semi-final. These are great achievements. We cannot forget that these achievements happened. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, make the mistake of only remembering what happens today. They forget what happened yesterday. So we got to remember that Pioli so far with this team has done exceptionally well. This season, a semi-final in Europe is a great achievement, whether you like it or not. He raised young players from Tonali to Leao and was helped by leaders like Giroud, Kjaer, and Ibrahimovic. He was a coach, psychologist, friend, and even a family member to some players, with Leao calling him a father. The owners defended him even in the darkest moments, such as the January crisis. The leaders appreciate his low profile off the field with how he behaves in front of the cameras and his personal and communication style. It's true that he defends the players quite a lot. However, the league table does not lie, and sometimes the final standards make tough decisions much easier. Yes. At the end of the day, we have to see what happens in the league. In the Champions League, Pioli gets an A+. He gets an A+ from me. And I think, again, like Maldini said, if he is able to finish in top 4 at the end of the season by miracle, this is an 8 out of 10 season for Pioli and AC Milan. Because again, the roster that was given to him is not the roster that we all wanted from the beginning. But I do want to say something. This is just a personal intuition. If Pioli does get the sack, guys, I'm just putting it out there. This is just a hint. There's nothing in the news that confirms this. This is just my personal intuition, my personal hint, and that is that Shevchenko will be the new coach of AC Milan. Why do I say that? Simply by the fact that every time I see Paolo and Massara on the stands watching a game, Shevchenko is right there sitting right there next to him. It seems like Shevchenko is following the team all over. Shevchenko right now is a coach looking for a squad. So I do think that at least if Pioli gets sacked, Shevchenko will be one of the coaches that we're going to be looking at. Do I think Milan is going to get a top coach if Pioli gets sacked? I do not think so. Also because Pioli has this 4 million contract that they will be paying him no matter what, whether he gets sacked or not. I think the next guy will be Shevchenko for financial reasons, and also because Shevchenko is someone that is very familiar with the Milan environment. Now, again, this is just an opinion, just a sensation I'm having, just a hint, just a intuition, nothing else. There's nothing else to it. Okay, let's go back to chat, and then we'll keep on going with some more news. Milan for life. That's right. Redbird out. Cardinale out. Cardinale. No good, Cardinale. Origi completed the biggest heist in history. He made 4 million doing absolutely nothing for the last 12 months. Yes, sir. Loftus-Cheek and Arnautovic. Are you kidding me? Poor. Very poor. Not good at all. Personal thoughts. Juventus is going to pay only a fine. That is very possible. Remember that Juventus has a lot, especially the Agnelli family, Elkan. These are people with a lot of influence. You know how things are. Milan being linked with either 3 or loan players says already how much our budget will be in the summer. Yeah. Sacchi talking shit about the derby. Let's go to Sacchi. Let's see what Sacchi has been saying. Let's do that. I did see that headline. Sacchi. So 2 interesting. Let's see what Sacchi says, and then let's opine on Sacchi's words. Former AC Milan boss Arrigo Sacchi has described the Champions League semi-final between the RossonARI and Inter as a Ferrari against a Fiat 500. Harsh. It starts already very harsh. Let's get straight to his words. Let's see. It's always going to be tough for Milan to get themselves out of the hole that they dug in the first 11 minutes of the first leg when goals from Edin Dzeko and Mkhitaryan gave Inter supremacy that they never squandered. Okay, let's just get to his quotes. We don't need to read everything. And here it is. I took the tablet to the second floor. I made do the single came and went, blah, blah, blah. This is Milan now, a team of unknown guys who do what they can. But even so, they won a Scudetto and reached the semifinals of the European Cup. 2 years ago, nobody would have bet a penny on it. Okay, I mean, he didn't say anything controversial. He said he didn't say anything controversial. I mean, is he not right? Now there are words came out that Sacchi is being an advisor to Marotta. Let's see what this is all about. Arrigo Sacchi's name will remain most strongly attached to AC Milan, but a journalist has claimed that he is actually working as an advisor for Inter. Ooh, traitor. Sacchi is synonymous with the great Milan teams of 30 years ago, which featured the likes of Baresi, Maldini, Gullit, and Mambasen, and regarded as one, if not the strongest club side of all time. However, Rossoneri fans will be surprised by what Fabrizio Blazin, a well-known journalist and writer who mainly deals with Inter, revealed in the columns of a newspaper Libero. Speaking on TV Play, Blazin spoke about Veneto Azzurri's euphoria after reaching the final, but added an interesting note. Some time ago, I was at dinner and both Beppe Marotta and Sacchi were present. I discovered that Arrigo is an advisor to the general director of Inter. He has a good relationship with Inter, so much so that his criticisms of Simone Inzaghi must be contextualized and taken with a grain of salt, he said. Blazin is referring to when Sacchi criticized Inzaghi's style of play in the past, stating that he relies little on ideas and more individual players and asked him to be more courageous in his choices and tactical schemes. It must be said that Sacchi revealed several years ago that he was a fan of Inter. Some time ago, I was an Inter fan. President Moratti rewarded me with a gold medal from his father's time. I thanked him and told him I coached Milan, but I'm not a repentant. Okay, so the one thing I've got to say about this is, yes, if I am a DS in football, yeah, I want to have Sacchi give me his opinions. I want Sacchi to be an advisor. So there is a reason why Beppe Marotta has been dominating the Serie A for more than a decade, because he surrounds himself with the best football minds there are. I mean, that's how you do it. You know, greatness needs to stick around with greatness. I know people do not want to hear this. A lot of AC Milan fans hate Sacchi, but yeah, Sacchi is Sacchi. You can't just neglect Sacchi's incredible football acumen. So yeah, guys, Beppe Marotta, chooses Sacchi to be his advisor. Yeah, who are the idiots? Is it us who we don't choose him, or is it Marotta who chooses him? Good for Marotta. Well done to him. Well done to him. Okay, let's go back to chat. My only problem with Pioli is we playing ugly-ass football worse than the Ligety ball, even last season. Well, let's see, my man. I mean, I do think last season we did not play ugly football. I don't agree with that, but right now, yes, we're not playing the best of football. There's not a true Milan fan. I think that Pioli's contract was expiring. He would have been sacked. If Pioli's contract was, yeah, probably. Absolutely. I mean, I don't doubt that. Sheva coming if Pioli gets sacked. Yeah, probably. It's just an intuition. If the owner put 50 million for next summer, we can't blame Pioli, Maldini, or the players, and we should, as fans, take actions. I 100% agree with that. 100%. Either him or Abate. Yeah, maybe Abate. The thing about Sheva already has Serie A experience, and he has already national team experience. Remember that Shevchenko is the Ukrainian coach, the first Ukrainian coach to take Ukraine so far into a European championship. So that's already a great achievement in amongst the top division professionals. Abate, Primavera to first team squad, a little bit of a stretch. I hope he doesn't get the sack, but I would like De Zerbi. He used to fuck us up with Sassuolo. Whoever is coaching Sassuolo right now keeps fucking us up today still. Yeah, De Zerbi having a great season. He's also Milanista, he claimed, so De Zerbi would be a good choice. Sheva, sabotage Pioli. Sacchi's not a trader. He's just a coach, not a Milan fan. Capello Ancelotti were Juve coaches also. I agree, Falcon Flynn. I 100% agree with you there. Absolutely do not want Sheva as coach, and I love Sheva, but no, that job, bro. Not that job, bro. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I wouldn't be. I'm not a fan of this choice. It's not because I want Sheva to be there. I'm saying this. I'm just saying this simply because I see him always hang out with Maldini and Masada at the games, and he is very well connected to Milan. But obviously, he's not my personal top pick. Milan needs a good quality coach in order to win titles. Absolutely. Dumb Milan fans want De Zerbi. Well, they will get Sheva. We will get a scapegoat. Does anyone remember when Origi scored his first and last goal? He almost injured himself. Yeah, against Monza, he almost injured himself. Sacchi 100% right with what he said. Yeah, absolutely. Is it true Roy Sacchi director at Inter? No, advisor. Origi is a Fiat 500. Yeah. A new scandal has hit the referee association after member was suspended for contacting referee Antonio Rapuano ahead of an Inter-Empoli match, asking to help with a bet on yellow cards. Is this true, Alan? Wow. If this is true, that's crazy. Andriy Shevchenko has been contacted by manager about the manager role in the event that Pioli gets the sack. Di Marzio. Yes, listen, it's just an intuition, guys. I'm not reporting anything. I'm not reporting news here. I'm just giving you an intuition and nothing else. Nothing else. Okay, let's discover Kamada a little bit, since Kamada is another player that is being linked with Milan. Now, I'm seeing a lot of positive things regarding Kamada, meaning a lot of positive reactions from the AC Milan fans. Again, this is a player that I have never seen, ever. I have no idea how he plays. I don't think I even know what position he plays. But let's check him out, guys. This is going to be the first time we're going to check him out. We're going to do a live reaction of Daichi Kamada, Japanese international, playing currently with Frankfurt. Let's make sure my internet works. Audio render air, please. Oh my lord. Let's see if I can get. Nope, it doesn't look like I can do it. No. Football Italia was the source, but not sure if it's true. Okay. Forza Milan Vasil, how you doing, my friends? Been a while. It's been a while, sir. What's up, Christian Pasmino? What's up? Roy, did you see the Leao and Teo post a picture of Maldini after the news he's at risk? No, I did not see that. Tell me where that post is. Next season will be much better, guys, but we're not making top four, so do not get your hopes high. Hey, listen, I'm still optimistic. I think we can. I'm still optimistic. I think we can. Let's see though. Let's see. We have 3 game days left. Is this what you're talking about? Both Rafaela and Hernandez have posted a picture of Paolo Maldini from today's training session on the day that rumors surfaced regarding a potential departure. Okay, I see. A number of Italian sources have today suggested that Maldini's job as technical director could be under scrutiny if the team were to miss out on top 4. He gave an interview after the second leg defeat to Inter, asking for more investment and also explaining the club's transfer strategy, which has since reverberated. Now, one thing is true, that Maldini's words does pin the fans against the ownership. There is nothing that Maldini says that would do otherwise but that. Everything he said in the summer with that famous interview and what he has been saying in these past few days in the post-match conferences 100% pins the fans against the ownership. He is pretty much saying, yo, the ownership needs to step up if they want to get the results that everyone expects. So, right, we everybody has been saying that Pioli is too much of a yes man, but obviously Maldini is not. Obviously, Maldini is not that yes man that maybe people thought he was. He's obviously asking for more. Let's see that article. His initial thoughts. This is what Paolo Maldini said. The journey isn't over. We have a duty to try and finish the top 4. Then we also have to wait to see what will happen with Juventus. Reaching the semifinal was a great thing, even unexpected. Of course, if you get out by Inter, it hurts and makes the path seem less beautiful than it was. But we have to be lucid and honest. We reached this point unexpectedly. Yes, I think that is a very good take. It is a very good take. We kind of forget just because Inter kicked us out, we want to forget what a great achievement that was. The gap is real. Maldini continues. It hasn't been a question in the last 4 games against them. Today we played a little bit better, but it was compromised by the first leg. It's Inter's way of playing that bothers us, and we're unable to find countermeasures. Then we have to, and then we have also struggled against teams less strong than Inter in the last period. Let's keep on going. How long until Leao's renewal? We have the final details. They're very small things to fix, but the things will be definitely done. So Paolo Maldini says that Leao is definitely renewing with AC Milan. Let's hope this is true. I would like to see that happen. Also because the new reports that claimed his renewal was going to happen, the numbers to me seemed very good. How would you rate Milan's season with qualification for the next Champions League? It would be an 8 out of 10. We said it last year. We're not yet structured to compete in 2 competitions. Guys, please listen to these words. This is Maldini saying it. It's not me. When I say it, there are people that fucking hate me for saying that shit. When I've been saying this for a long time, there are some people that have completely fucking went berserk against me. They've completely turned 180 against me. This is Maldini saying it. We're not structured yet to compete into competition. What does that mean? We're not structured. What is he talking about? He's talking about the roster. We told the press and our owners, they know it very well. It's a path that has brought great sporting and economic results. For many young players, today there was an average difference of 3 years compared to Inter. It would be a great season with UCL qualification. The roster, the structure of this roster is not where people think it is. We need to be always at the same level of where things are in order to have lucid judgment, lucid analysis. Are Milan full after the Scudetto? No, you only have full bellies when you get certain results, when you win over and over. Being back at this level must be exploited. Also economically by investing to stay in the top 4 and do well in Italy. And this is where he is pointing at the ownership. Again, this reminds me of 2007. We win a Champions League and Berlusconi stops investing in the team. You win a Scudetto, now is when you do that big injection. You do it now. We didn't do it, but we still have a chance to do it. Maldini's asking for it. CDK. De Keller is an example of a player who needs to grow. It's normal. It would have been much easier and much less expensive for us to get Dybala. But it would have been the right signing for our project? No. We know we have an idea and we have the will to build a young and talented team. Now, this idea here is wrong. Dybala would have been the right investment. Because first of all, Dybala is not old, but Dybala is a top G in the Serie A. And Dybala would have helped the depth of the season. Dybala would have helped the technical and tactical, would have raised the level of everybody around him. And also Dybala would have been a concrete solution for Pioli. Dybala would have been a concrete solution for Pioli. So the ownership idea of this young team is good up to until a certain point. There needs to be balance. Like in a football team, you have to have a balanced formation. Like in the structural ideas of how to build a roster, you need balance as well. Milan have just 3 games left in the league and are currently 4 points from top 4. Depending on the outcome of Juve's whole situation, the RossonARI could miss out on the Champions League, blah, blah, blah. So those were Maldini's words. Very interesting words. Very interesting words. Maldini is the man, the myth, the legend. Every time he talks, always interesting to hear what he says. Maldini's not a risk, guys. Trust me, Jerry is not that stupid. Now, I hope so. I do hope so. Because even though, okay, Maldini didn't have a great summer, let's remember that people are allowed to make mistakes. Okay? There's nobody here in this chat or me that has never made a mistake. All of us human beings make mistakes. but those mistakes should not define us, right? We know what defines Maldini. What defines Maldini is not the 3 Champions Leagues finals that he lost, but what defines Maldini is the 5 Champions Leagues that he won, right? We don't judge Maldini for the 3 Champions Leagues that he lost. We define him by the 5 he won. So let's not forget that even these legends have margins of error, and it's okay. It's okay. Maldini is too important for this club. He needs to keep on staying. He needs to keep on going with this project. I agree with Paul here. Maldini should not be at risk, and Jerry can't be that stupid. 100%. Frankfurt should be our new Lille and lend us Ndika as well, and we'll give him Rebic. Yeah, I'm all down. The picture in Leo Maldini is on the screen, right? Okay, I see. Yeah, it was it. I will be happy, but I'm realistic, my man. Listen, I mean, let's be honest here. We have 3 matches to go. We are 4 points behind Lazio. Today, being realistic is saying, yeah, most likely we won't make top 4. But like Maldini said, dreaming costs nothing. Is there Roy in the Semper Milan? What do you mean by that? Is there? Oh, okay, I see. Honestly, after a bad season, I'm really proud of our players. Can you imagine what Leao, Theo, Mike, Tonali, and Bennacer feel after taking us to the semis? Their confidence will be massive. And that's a good take, because I do think that even though, again, you know, the Serie A wasn't the best, but the Champions League was a great experience for our players. Tonali, Bennacer, Theo, Mike, Leao, even Krunic, Salamakers, all of these players can now tell themselves, hey, I am a football player that is good enough to bring a team into the semifinals. And these are not football players that have even reached their prime, except for Mike Maignan. Mike Maignan now is in his prime, and he's going further into his prime. But everybody else has not even reached their prime yet. So it is a very good feeling and a very good projection for these players to know that at still their young age, they're not inexperienced players, but they're still young, that they have the ability to get a team into a semifinal of the Champions League. So yeah, absolutely, very positive. River Plate president Jorge Pablo Brito had a lunch meeting with Maldini and Massara today in Milan. Di Marzio, okay. That's another player we'll be looking at. Between Jerry and Maldini, I choose Milan. Okay. At least Maldini's letting the ownership know what's up. I'd rather see Maldini get fired than him having to sign Origis every summer. Now, yeah, I agree with that, Joel. I agree with that. It's important for Maldini to be vocal about this stuff. And, you know, Conte is an example of a figure that will go on TV, and every time they lose, Conte cries at the cameras and says, it's because the ownership didn't get me this and that. I don't want to cry, baby, but I do want someone that presents himself with integrity and honor and says things the way they should be said. Maldini is that person, and what he's saying is something that I think all of us agree with. Maldini is telling the truth. Give the club what it needs, 100%. 4 losses in a row, it hurts. Come on. Yes, Inter definitely got the best out of us this year. We need to change that. Hopefully it will change next year. I also think Pioli will get fired if we do not get top 4. I think that is a very good possibility, yes. The season 6-8, 7-8 if we make top 4. This season is a 6-8 or 7-8 if we make top 4. I don't agree with that. I think because of making into the Champions League semifinal, I think it deserves more than a 6 for sure. If Leo wants to go, let him go. I pray we don't make top 4 because we're not good enough. No, let's make top 4. Let's make top 4, and then let's think about next season. You know, we don't need to hurt ourselves even more. We do not need to hurt ourselves even more. We shouldn't be struggling to make top. We didn't even have to worry about competing for Scudetto this season, and the team still can't get the bare minimum. Well, the thing is this, Joel, that you cannot just pretend that the Champions League does not affect the performances in the Serie A. When you are not structured to compete in these 2 competitions, you can't expect the Serie A to be a walk in the park. Yes, the Serie A could be much easier if you don't need to think about the Champions League. If all you're focusing on the Serie A, it's easy because every game day you're always putting your best players, and it puts even less pressure on the bench. But when you are a club that has Champions League tradition, European tradition, you're obligated to take the Champions League seriously. You're obligated. AC Milan, no matter what, is obligated to try and do their best in the Champions League. So when you have to mitigate between the marathon, which is the Serie A, and the sprints, which is the Champions League, like Paolo Maldini said, you need a structure, a roster. So it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Should have we done better? I agree with that, but it's not that simple. Milan fans need to put pressure on Cardinale, not Pioli. Thank you. Thank you. Now, that is something I stand behind. I love this, man. I want to make... Bro, I'm ready to tattoo this thing on my forehead. I am ready to tattoo this shit on my forehead. This is the comment of the day. This is 100% the comment of the day. Sir, you win comment of the day. The pressure needs to be on Cardinale, not on Pioli. Just because we don't see Cardinale doesn't mean he doesn't exist. The pressure needs to be on him. The pressure needs to be on him. Dybala is all I want at Milan. Dybala over CDK any day, anytime. I'm done with fucking CDK. I gave him the whole year without criticizing, but I'm done. CDK is a little pussy without any drive. Hey, listen, he need CDK did not show anything. Okay, he needs to be the one that we can't just talk about players with, we can't just talk positively about players if they don't produce. In order for us to talk well about players, they need to produce. That's how this works. Roy, are you disagreeing with Paolo? Go Maldini, how dare you? I don't disagree with him, but I do disagree with the philosophy of the club and just focusing on youngsters. I think Paolo has said we need more investments. We need to get, he said we need at least 3 ready players that are ready to give us everything. He didn't get any of that. Fans actually believe CDK was next KDB and Kaká. The media. The media. The media is stupid. Get rid of fucking CDK. Jerry's American. You never know. He could be stupid. Well, for sure, he doesn't know enough about AC Milan. And that's very disappointing. But say, what would happen with somebody like CDK in Ukraine? He needs to grow up. I can't believe that you can be a pro player with a shitty mentality. Yeah, CDK getting a lot of heat. Guys, remember to click that like button, subscribe, do all those good things, and give me your opinions in the comments. Give me your opinions on the comments. Today is a good day to opine on everything AC Milan. By the way, we do have three semifinals happening, guys. We have the European, we have Juve in a semifinal, Roma in a semifinal, and Fiorentina in a semifinal. All 3 decisive games. And I believe all 3 of those games are starting in exactly 1 hour from now. I'm not sure whether or not Fiorentina when is Fiorentina playing? Is Fiorentina playing today? Let me just check. Against Basel. Yes. All these games happening in 1 hour. Football today is spoiling us. Football this week has spoiled us. So yeah, has absolutely spoiled us. Derby in the semifinal, the Milan Derby in the semifinal. Real Madrid City yesterday, and what a game from City. Congratulations to City. What a game from City. And today, 3 major semifinals, all decisive games. Today, this week, we have been spoiled. We have been spoiled as football fans. I hope we sign Marcelo or Nacho. They're on a free and are the perfect mix with the experience and quality to be backup for Theo, and they're from Real. So that's a plus. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I like Marcelo. Not so familiar with Nacho so much, but Marcelo for sure. I'm watching the World Cup U20 this weekend. It starts, and it's Italy versus Brazil on Sunday. Absolutely, and I'm also following the Euro Under 17, which started literally a few minutes ago. Literally 11 minutes ago. Right now, Italy U17 is playing against the Spanish team U17. Let me see how that game is going. It is 0-0 right now. Italy U17, Spain U17. Do we get some stats? 2 shots for Italy, 3 shots for Spain. Of course, possession 61%. Spain, of course, and 39 possession. Pass accuracy 84% for Italy, only 73% from Spain. So this game is very interesting. Let's see if there's any AC Milan players. I know Liberali from AC Milan is in the roster, but it doesn't look like he is starting. I'm not seeing any AC Milan players in the squad, in the starting 11. Liberali is there, and I think there's 2 more. There's 3 AC Milan players in the squad. I think, I think 2 of them are starting. Bassino and Riccio, I'm not sure, but 2 players are starting. There might be those 2 players. I'm not sure. I would rather keep and sign Diaz and get rid of effing CDK. Guys, let's talk about Diaz. That's a great segue. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me about Diaz. So, very interesting report came out regarding Diaz, which claimed that Diaz will not be renewing with AC Milan. Rather, Real Madrid is going to redeem Brahim Diaz, and he's going to be going back to Real Madrid. So that's a report that came out today. Let me see if I can find it on the fly. Let's see. But regardless, here it is. And I want to know what you guys think about this as well. I do have some things to say about Brahim Diaz, especially with his last performance. According to what Radio Estadio is reporting in their Onda Cero program, the Spanish attacking midfielder, who is currently in his 3rd season on loan at Milan from Real Madrid, is negotiating the final details of his contract renewal with Los Blancos. Real are keen to tie him down long-term because striker Mariano Diaz, playmaker Marco Asensio, midfielder Dani Ceballos, and defender Nacho Fernandez will all not renew their contract, leaving some gaps in the squad to fill. Very interesting. That is also some potential players that AC Milan could sign. For this reason, it is expected that Brahim will extend his current contract and then return to the Spanish capital ahead of next season, where he will stay and become part of the rotations, having been with Milan since the start of 2021 campaign. Okay, let's do a quick analysis on Brahim Diaz. First of all, let's check his SOFA score. Now, my quick opinion on Brahim Diaz. Brahim Diaz is a player that I still believe, being quite young. Remember, only 23. He becomes 24 in August. He's still quite young. Still a lot of football experience to have for him. I think that Brahim Diaz is on his way to becoming a very, 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 very good and useful football player. This season, we saw much better moments of him being very, very important for AC Milan. He had some important games for AC Milan. Of course, the thing that he lacks is that consistency. Now, his last game with Milan against Inter was absolutely atrocious. It was absolutely atrocious. The performance I saw against Inter was maybe the worst performance I ever seen him do, especially now that he has gained a lot of experience. I don't remember him do any passes at all. He always took the ball and just ran into players, almost like a guy that I know that plays FIFA. He likes to just run into defenders. Little dig there. But Brahim Diaz was extremely disappointing against Inter. After a performance like that, it's hard to want to redeem this player. The fact that he's been parked in AC Milan by Real Madrid is already something that I don't like. I don't like that Real Madrid used us as a garage for Diaz. I don't like that. Now, if Diaz was an AC Milan player, I would probably have a different opinion. But he's not an AC Milan player. He's a Real Madrid player, but is currently playing with AC Milan. And Real Madrid, the difference between Real Madrid and Milan is this: when we have youngsters and we want to grow them, we send them out to Lecce and we send them out to Spezia. Real Madrid sends their youngsters out to AC Milan, and they also win a Scudetto. But his last performance against Inter, it's hard for me to say that we should redeem this player. This is harsh, maybe a little bit contradictory from some of the things I've said about him in the past. But at this point, unless he does something in these last 3 games, I'm going to say something that I don't think I've ever felt or said before. I think we should not redeem Brahim Diaz. I think we should move from Brahim Diaz, and we should get a new player in that position. And we should get someone that is an AC Milan player and someone that is more of a passer of the ball, someone that is more of a Rui Costa rather than a Brahim Diaz. Again, if Brahim Diaz was an AC Milan player, my approach would be completely different. But the fact that he's just a car parked in our garage, that does a car that does not belong to us, parked in our garage, bothers me. But his last performance against Inter, guys, was absolutely terrifying. It was terrifying. Worst player on the pitch. So in the Champions League, Diaz this season has had 1 goal, 10 total played, 10 games in the Champions League. That is incredible. That's so cool to see that our players got to play 10 games in the Champions League. That is one thing that, again, I'm very happy with. Let's see. Assist. So in the Champions League, he had a 2-goal contribution, 1 assist, 1 goal. Terrible performance against Inter in the second game. So bad. Let's see how he did in Serie A. Serie A, 6.83 rating, so not very good. As you can see, he played mostly in this position here on that right side. 5 goals, 30 games played, 5 goals, and 5 assists. So a total of 12 goals in all competitions. I don't believe he did anything in the Coppa Italia. So he did, as far as goal contribution, he did reach the double-digit margin, which is pretty good. 12 goals, not 12 goal contribution. That's not bad. Coppa Italia, what did he do? 1 appearance, no goals, no assists. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. 12 is not terrible. He is one of our starters. He has been our starter for the most part, so it's not that great either. It's quite average, to be honest. Again, this is a player that I think as he gets older, he is going to mature into a very good player. I see his trajectory very similar to Papu Gomez. But I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be frank. I'm going to be Frank Kissy with you guys. And I'm going to say that, yes, I believe that we should not redeem Brahim Diaz anymore. I believe it is time for Brahim Diaz to move on. And I do think that I think that his last performance is probably defines his future at AC Milan. Okay, let's see. I've not seen much fans angry at the owners at all. Like, they already forget he gave us. Yeah, me too, man. It's very well, actually, I'm going to be honest with you, Alan. it's more of the English speaking fans that I'm not seeing that from. But because I speak Italian and I follow a variety of AC Milan fan channels of Italian kids that live in Milano. Well, they're not kids, they're adults, and they're all one thing that I was looking at. They're pretty much all saying that the biggest issue is the roster, and that the problem is that this team needs an injection of quality. And I'm seeing a lot of comments in the comment sections talking about how the management failed this team. So that is pretty satisfying to see that, because I'm happy that people are starting to say that. The English universe is still on Pioli's nuts quite a lot, and they're barely talking about the failure of the ownership. The ownership, total failure from the ownership. CDK should be his summer training with RossonARI TV, 1 week tactics with Larry, 1 week technical training with Roy, 1 week mentally training with Vasil. Last week drinking with a Brazilian guy. Yeah, that's amazing. Today, Juve and Roma are playing in an hour to see who's the final for the EL. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Looking forward to that. Should we give CDK a second season to prove himself? Good question here, Road 35. Very good question. I'll give you my opinion. In my opinion, CDK is a young player. So yes, young players do deserve chances, because you want to see how they progress, right? There's many examples of young players that you let go too early and then you come to regret it. Of course, there's the outstanding examples like Thierry Henry at Juve, Thuram, you can even AC Milan, Thuram with AC Milan. So there are examples of young players. I mean, Pirlo at Inter, Seedorf at Inter. A lot of players that Inter let go very early, and they came to us, and with us they won everything. So I think CDK does deserve another season, but if we do end up selling him or letting him go, I'm not going to be crying. What do you think of Loftus-Cheek? Not a fan. Very disappointing for me to see that Loftus-Cheek is being linked with AC Milan. If there are English players that I want to be seen linked with Milan, it's the ones that are starting in the national team. Who is in the starting lineup of the national team? Who is it? I don't know who it is. Is it Declan Rice, Mount? Who are Phil Foden? That's who I want. I want if it's English players, at least give me the best English players. Don't give me the 6th, 7th, 8th selection of the national team. Give me the top 3 selection, not the reserves. So yeah, I'm sorry if that pisses some people off. CDK has many opportunities in different positions. He just asked, that's reality so far. So far, yes. I want Pioli fired and then De Zerbi signed. If not, De Zerbi, Luis Enrique, Xabi Alonso, or Unai Emery would be good alternatives. Guys, again, I'm just going with intuition. Milan does not have a history of signing top coaches. Milan has more of a history of signing unknown coaches and then, allowing these, let's say, more modest coaches to build their story with whatever roster they're given. I do not see De Zerbi. Maybe De Zerbi, yes. I definitely do not see Luis Enrique coming. I do not see Xabi Alonso coming, and I 100% do not see Unai Emery coming. Are these good alternatives? Yeah, absolutely, they're good alternatives. Is this in Milan's DNA to sign these kind of coaches? No, not really. Not really. Baschirotto highlights. Paul loves Baschirotto. Bruschetta. Paul loves Bruschetta. The bodybuilder. Bro, he will get chewed and spit it out like a little bitch. He will not survive in Ukraine with this type of mentality for sure. He's not shown anything this year, so he can go back to where he came from, the Farmers League. Yeah, Vasil, very, very, very tough on CDK, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. CDK will come back a different man this summer. Let's see, because I think that in the summer you have that summer preparation. You have You come with new motivations. You already had a season behind you. You want to redeem yourself. I think that those kind of motivations and that experience, being 1 year longer in Italy, does bring you something extra. So maybe next season we will see more out of CDK. Let's see. Let's see. Yes, Vasil's back. I miss the fucking guy. Yeah, me too. Hi, Roy. I just turned in. Forza Milan, Alexandros. How you doing, sir? Italian travel this year, Roy. Let's see. Why not? Last I seen, Marcelo looked very out of shape for Olympiacos a year or two ago. Okay, I'm not following him, but I'll take your word for him. Roy, do you think with what happened with Madrid yesterday will force them to go hard on the summer transfer market, and could this present some opportunities for us to get players from Madrid? Yes, according to that article, there are some players that Madrid is not renewing. And I think a player like Asensio is very interesting. Out of all those players that I read there, Asensio is very interesting. A player that Maldini has been, according to the reports, Maldini likes a lot. If he can bring Asensio to AC Milan, that would be pretty nice. Let's be honest. Diaz outfounded. I can't believe I actually apologized to him after Napoli. Look, he had a great performance against Napoli, no doubt about it. Again, I want to re-emphasize what I said. If he was a Milan player, I would probably have a different opinion. The fact that he's not a Milan player, and with that outrageously terrifying performance he had against Inter, yeah, I have my opinions have taken a 180. So Kamada is the Diaz replacement. Yeah, guys, maybe he is. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I want to keep Diaz and get Kamada. We need depth if we want to be a big team. Yeah, maybe Kamada and someone else. Well, let's see. At least Diaz did more than Origi. Guys, I mean, if you know how I feel about Origi, guys, it's not a secret. Maldini wants us to be a big team again, but Cardinale doesn't. Yeah, Cardinale thinks we're the Italian Toulouse. Toulouse had some was on the news for some issues, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember what they were, but they were on the news recently because of some political issues, I believe. We let them use us as a garage. It's fucking disappointing. Roy, Ansel Lafi, you already know. What's up, Chunk? Yeah, Ansel Lafi, very good player. I like what I saw from his highlights. He looks like a very good playmaker, very technical, very intelligent playmaker. I think that would be an intelligent signing. Damn, Roy, you finally saw the light. Yeah, my opinion right now has been made. I have flip-flopped. But I have not hid. It's not been a secret that I was disappointed with the fact that, he's not an AC Milan player, and Madrid is using us to grow him. I think that's disappointing as fuck. But now I think I have made my decision. Yeah, Baschirotto can play number 10. Guys, I don't know who Bruschetta is. I really have no clue about this player. I don't even know who he plays with. I really don't know who he is, my man. I thought he was a defender, right? Wasn't he a defender? Give us Chiesa. Oh, mamma mia. Oh, mamma mia, ragazzi. Chiesa, Dybala, and Højlund. Oh, Lord have mercy. That would be nice. That would be very nice. Is San Siro going to be back to being low-key empty on Saturdays, or will it be packed? I don't know. One thing that definitely happened is that people are excited about football in Italy again. Not only the San Siro is always packed, but there are many stadiums around Italy that are always packed, which is good because it brings more revenue, it brings more money, it brings more attention, it brings more excitement. Hopefully not, Joel. River Plate President Giorgio Pablo Brito had you said that someone else brought this up regarding a player that I don't know who he is. We'll look into it. San Siro should be empty as protest against Cardinale. I don't mind that. Roy, can you please look at Branco van den Bomen or Espino later, two free experienced quality players who would solve many of our problems in midfield and left back position? I have an issue right now because of some settings. I can't see videos, so we're not going to be watching videos, unfortunately. I did want to see Kamada. I'll probably do a separate video looking at Kamada. Yes, Joel. Yes, we need to stop settling for mediocrity. If we don't, we will be stacked. Guys, I need to get some sound effects. We got another top comment. Another top comment. We need some sound effects here. I need to get some sound effects. That's a top comment right there. Ricomin Echeverri, probably. I've heard this name earlier. I don't know him. We'll check him out eventually. CDK has to be given a second season for sure. Oh, okay. Let's check Kamada's numbers in SofaScore. We can do that. We can still do that. Okay, Kamada. Aichi Kamada. Okay, 6.90. That's not a good rating. That is not a good rating. Okay, so he's a midfielder. I believe this is very similar to what Tonali and Benacer looks like. Remember how Brahim Diaz was just in this area? So this looks like a pure midfielder, right? A pure midfielder. I believe Benacer looks very similar. I believe. Let's check real fast. Wow. No, this is Champions League. Serie A. Yes. So Benacer, very similar to that. So he's not purely an attacking midfielder. He's more of a midfielder, like a general midfielder. So first thing to notice, even Tonali probably has a very similar heat map. Tonali a little bit similar in the middle, but Tonali goes everywhere. Holy crap. Of course, he focuses more on this area of the field, but he focuses a lot on the sides as well. One thing that I've noticed a lot about Tonali is the people that went to see him on the stadium, both Rock and Peter, very good friends of the channel, both have said that they're very impressed at how Tonali just is everywhere and runs like a maniac and just puts everything into it. Very interesting. He pretty much covers the whole damn field. That is insane. But anyway, let's go back to Kamada. Daichi Kamada. What is this? Bundesliga. Daichi Kamada. Very interesting. Let's see. 30 played, 23 started, 70 minutes per game. Made team of week twice. 8 goals, 5 assists. So far, that's 13 goal contribution as attacking midfielder, defensive midfielder. So yes, he is pretty much a Krunic, not as in Krunic quality player, but Krunic as far as where the positions he plays. So he's pretty much that kind of player. So not so much an offensive player, right? These are not really. I mean, 8 goals is pretty good for a midfielder. 8 goals. These are the kind of goals that I think Seedorf once said, if you're a midfielder, you want to shoot for at least 10 goals per. If you're an attacking midfielder or a midfielder that has attacking intuition, you want to at least achieve 10 goals a season. So he might get there since there's still a few more games left. Accuracy per game, 83%. Own half, 88%. Opposition half, 76%. Interesting. Defensively, tackles per game, 1.5. Possession 1, 0.5. Error led to goal, 1. Penalties committed, 1. Successful dribbles, 47%. Total duels, 1, 44%. Ground duels, 1, 46%, 34%. 26 years old, 6 feet, 30 valued at 31 million, but he's going to be on a free 6.90. I mean, I don't know. Are you guys impressed by these numbers? Does this impress you? Let's compare him to Krunic. Rade Krunic, who plays more or less the same positions: attacking midfield, midfield, defensive midfield, and left wing. Serie A. As you can see, Rade Krunic, more or less the same heat map. 0 goals from Rade Krunic, 1 assist. Is this Serie A or Champions League? In Serie A. Wow, that's very poor. Very, very poor. But look at this. 84% own half, 92% accuracy per game. Opposition half, 77%. This is the big difference. Successful dribbles, 78%. Total duels, 1/3. Okay, so defensively, Krunic is much better. Let's compare him to Benacer then. Benacer being the more offensive midfielder, even though he's not really, but... So Benacer, very good rating from SofaScore, 7.20, meaning he's had a very good season. 28 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. These are great numbers. Accuracy per game, 89%. Own half, 90. Opposition half, 80%. And look at this. Successful dribble, 68%. Guys, obviously Kamada is not at the same level of Benacer. Benacer is a better player. Benacer is a better player. So we're not getting a player that is better than what we already have. And also Kamada is older. And Benacer plays midfield, DM, and he's also played in that attacking midfield playing. So Benacer is 1 year younger. He's valued at 42 million. More or less this, a little bit shorter, 5.9. But some of these numbers are very clear regarding the difference in quality, not only offensively, but defensively. Benacer is 100% our best midfielder with the ball. Let's see, Tonali being more of a quantity player rather than a quality player. Tonali, 7.19. That means he's had a good season, according to SofaScore. 31 games played, 2 goals, and 6 assists. Not bad from Tonali. So Kamada, one thing, scores more goals, but let's also remember that in the Bundesliga is a very open league. A lot of players have incredible numbers when it comes to scoring goals. But look at this. Accuracy per game, 80%. Own half, 89%. Opposition half, 67%. That is not good. That is not a good number from Tonali. So Kamada, better accuracy in the opposition half than Tonali. So better in the passing, better in more precision in the passing in opposition half. So under pressure. Successful dribbles, 47%, very similar. Total duels won. This is where the difference is, 58%. Ground duels won, 61%. So obviously, defensively, Tonali is going to bring you more quality. So Kamada is more of a Benacer replacement, I would say. He could possibly, now, again, I haven't seen him. So right now, I'm just speculating based on numbers. But we are going to be seeing more of him later on. Okay, let's keep on going with chat. Paul, second chance for Rigi 20. Yeah, Paul, are you going to give him a second chance? Thuram never played for Milan, Roy. You mean Vieira? Yes, thank you for correcting me there. Vieira. Thank you. Yes, Christian, as a sub for Leao. Interesting. Did you review Kamada's highlights or did I miss it? No, not yet. I'm having issues with my videos, so I'm not going to do it today. Right, but you don't say that when it's Italian players, you wanted Belotti for fuck's sake. Yes, I wanted Belotti for our offensive depth. I didn't want Belotti to be the starter of AC Milan, but I wanted Belotti to be second or third choice for AC Milan. And stop with this Italian agenda. I am very clear about what I think about Italian players. I think AC Milan needs an Italian core. I am very happy with the French core because right now French football is elite. France is producing some of the best players. The national team is kicking ass. So I'm happy with the French players we have. Mike Maignan is fucking incredible. Theo Hernandez is incredible. Kalulu is incredible. He's having a great season. Great experience in AC Milan. Giroud also has been very good for AC Milan. So the French connection, I'm very happy with the French connection, but I think that not having that Italian core does penalize us. It does penalize us. I think if we were a German team, I would want a German core. If we were a Spanish team, I'd want a Spanish core. If we were an American team, I want an American core. I think these things are important in football. Whether you want to call me a nationalist or a fucking fascist, I don't know whatever the fuck people are saying because I say these things. I don't care. That's just stupid. Politics has nothing to do with sports. I'm not talking about politics. I'm not talking about patriotism. I'm not talking about anything but that in sports, domestic cores have always been a big factor in the success of teams. It's always been a big factor in AC Milan. Having a strong domestic core, which is a representative of the national squad, because the national squad is also a club team that the players take very seriously, is a very important aspect. I mean, it definitely served Inter better than it served Milan. Inter have a strong domestic core, and they're in the final of the Champions League. Even Man City has a number of English national team players. Yeah, I totally believe this. And nothing can change my idea about that. So you can call me a fascist, you can call me a nationalist, a racist, whatever the fuck you want, but it's all bullshit. I'm just talking about sports. It's got nothing to do with politics. Okay, at this point, I will send him on a loan. We can't let him play for Milan. I do believe CDK should go on loan. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Correction, he cannot be part of starting 11 next season. Is Pirlo doing good in Turkey? Maybe he's an option. I think it's a good experience for him. And he could be an option in the future, maybe. We'll see. Paul, we need Italian players. Yeah, we do need Italian players. Roy, Ceballos is leaving for free too. Ceballos is a good player, good prospect. He could be interesting. I don't disagree with that. CDK needs intensive physical exercises. Also, he needs to learn the Italian language. Yes, he needs to be acclimated, 100%. If CDK does not score a goal in the first half of next season, you should let him go, even if it's for free. I can see CDK doing well in Atalanta under Gasperini. I think so. I believe that CDK would probably do well in a team like Fiorentina, like Udinese, Bologna, maybe even Atalanta, where the objectives are not as crazy as the ones that they would be for AC Milan. Get Turan for free and Kamada for free, Asensio for free, pay 30 million for Sangare, and we're back. Okay, guys. Again, I want to see Kamada before. Like, his sofa score is okay, but it's nothing crazy. It's okay, but let's see. Vlahovic has been a complete flop. Why would you want Vlahovic? Kamada, Reis Nielsen, Van der Momen, Espino, Sportella, Van der Wilk, Mavropanos, bro. Too many names. I have no clue who they are. I have to do a lot of research to confirm my opinion on those names. Kim from Napoli and Brozovic from Inter, that would be nice. I wouldn't disagree with that. Should be doable, okay. Baldanzi from Empoli, very interesting player. By the way, Italy under 21, it will be compete. Oh, let's see how Italy U17 is doing. Guys, look at this. Italy winning 1-0 against Spain. Emme Romano has scored. So that's very good. As I said, the U17 right now is in doing a European Championship. We're playing against Spain. Italy is currently in first half leading the score by 1-0. Not bad. But anyway, the under-21 is going to be competing this summer. Baldanzi is going to be a big part of that team. So looking forward to see how Baldanzi does. He is a very interesting prospect. If I were to build an Italian core, Baldanzi could be a very good option for that, if he ends up being the player that some of us think he might become. Right, what is your opinion about Paolo Maldini as your technical director? Do you think his position is really in danger? I think Paolo Maldini is the one and only option for the job. Anyone but him would be stupid and crazy. If his position is in danger, then our ownership needs to have brain surgery. His position should not be in danger. Ronaldinho, yes, Sangari would be an enormous upgrade, although I don't think PSG would be asking for less than 40. Still could make sense as an investment, though. I've heard a lot of good things about Sangari, not too familiar with him. I can confirm that in the stadium, Tonali looks amazing. Salamaker also. Okay, nice. Good to hear. Good to hear. Right, would compare Kamada with Krunic more than Benacer as they share more similar roles. He's an attacking Midzala who presses high with much intensity, and he brings 8 goals. Yeah, that's what I kind of assumed according to the numbers and his heat map. He looks more like a Krunic, maybe a Krunic with more quality. Yeah. He's free and he's pretty good. Number one, I would sign him. I want Italian players, man. I want Bruschetta, Panini alla Caprese, and Ciccio Caputo. Yeah, Paul and his Italian man. I don't know why it triggers Paul when I talk about Italian players. What do you guys think about Inter's fans burning Leo's jersey? I did not see that. That's stupid. That's really stupid if they did that. Roy, do you think Wenger would be a good coach for us theoretically? Yeah, I mean, Wenger is an absolutely one of the. They say, according to the Arsenal fan base, he's the best coach that has ever existed. Yeah, Wenger would be, I think, would be able to bring in a lot of experience to this club. Yeah, but Wenger, I mean, he's retired. You know, he's passed. His time has passed. Yes, Milan needs more Italian players. Yeah, Cabello's is ass. My goodness, stop it. I got to be honest, I'm not very familiar with him. I know that he is a quality player because I remember him in the under-21s, and he was very good in the under-21s, but I haven't followed his career that much after that. Any news on Chiara Pioli beef? Nice, good argument to bring. So basically, Pioli and Chiara had a little bit of beef in the Inter game because obviously what happened is clear. You know, we don't need to read too much into it. Chiara was upset because he wasn't the starter. We know that Chiara is very, you know, he wants to be the starter, and some players, their ego gets hurt when they're not the starters. He probably thinks he should be the starter, so he was upset that Cha was the starter when it was his time to come in. Chiara took his time to get ready. Pioli was obviously nervous and took the rash decision of saying, okay, fuck you, Chiara, I'm going to bring in Kalulu instead. I don't know if that mistake cost him. Maybe Pioli shouldn't have been so nervous and just waited for Chiara to get ready. But maybe that mistake did cost Pioli. But nonetheless, it definitely shows that Chiara and Pioli are not on good terms in this current moment. Messi, Benzema, and Lewandowski would all flop under Allegri, Roy. Come on, get me Vlahovic. I mean, that's a good point. I'm not going to deny that. Like, under Allegri, it's very hard to be a striker. Very hard, because you're required to be essentially a midfielder. 10 more minutes, guys, and then we'll stop. PS, no highlights today. Unfortunately, no highlights today because my video is not working. But we will do... okay, let's do this. Tomorrow, we're going to do a scout report. Moreto reports Kamada won't necessarily arrive. He has more offers and they're evaluating. Paul Noah, PC is taking a crap. Roy's broke. Please like the damn video. Send me all of your money. Let's do this. Let's make that happen. Sangar is a copy of Kessie, Ivory Coast, 1.91 meters, and a defensive beast with decent, good football control. Yeah, I've heard very good things about this player. Isn't Paul Italian, or maybe an Italian girl dump him? Wenger is another reason I hate Arsenal fans. They should, yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. Why aren't we going after Ndika? He's free and asking for $3 million a year. Can't even play left back. Guys, I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I really did. I wish I knew. I really did. I wish I knew. Arnautovic being linked to AC Milan. I don't want to spend too much time on that. I don't think many of us here are excited of that prospect. Let's look at a few more prospects, interesting players that could be linked to AC Milan. Milan list of strikers. Okay. So this morning edition of Tutto Sport talks about Milan's desire to refresh the attack in view of the summer transfer window, given Oliver Giroud's age, plus the fact that Divock Origi and Ante Rebic have not offered much in the way of goals. The name of Marko Arnautovic, whether we like it or not, is having a very good season this year, is circulating strongly, an experienced profile who is expected to leave Bologna. In addition to that, Paolo Maldini and Ricky Massara are admirers of Gianluca Scamacca, who's had a very poor season in England, but the season prior to that in Italy had a banger of a season, 16 goals, some of those goals absolute bangers against us, not to mention that. West Ham, terrible move for Scamacca. Scamacca is a victim of the poor transfer market infrastructure of Italy. So Scamacca, interesting prospect for Milan, yes. However, the scouting team always have an eye on League One, and there are 3 players in France that stand out. Florian Balogun, who recently committed himself to the United States national team, a player that is doing very well, apparently. Hugo Ekitike, which I don't think that's possible because he just signed for PSG, but also a player that is very interesting who's had a pretty good season at PSG. And Luis Openda of RC Lens, a player that I'm not too familiar with. I'm familiar with Balogun. I'm familiar with Ekitike. Both these players very interesting, very positive prospects. And of course, Gianluca Scamacca, another player that I believe would be a very positive prospect for AC Milan. Arnautovic, not so much. 34 years old, a little bit of a personality. He comes with some baggage. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Luis Openda. I probably have seen this player. It's just not coming to mind right now. Milan ha avviato i contatti con il Chelsea per Loftus-Cheek. Mamma mia, ragazzi, che disastro. Che disastro. Guys, Saint-Maxime, another player that was linked to us during the winter, guys, if you remember. During the winter, this player was linked to us. It looks like there's reports came out. So Corriere dello Sport reports the name of Saint-Maxime is still on the wish list. The 26-year-old is able to play both on the left and the right wing, meaning he would act both as a start in place of the aforementioned Messias and Salamakers, but also as a Rafael Leao main reserve. However, what made the operation difficult in January when Milan tried was the cost of the transfer fee, which was between 30 to 35 million. So interesting, another very interesting player, very skillful. You know me, guys. I'm all about the skillful technical players. I think that technical players raise the level of your game. So this is a player that is interesting. Let's see what happens with this. Um, let's see. Let's see. I don't think he's having a great season this year. Let's check real fast. But this is the. It looks like he is on his way out. It does look like he is on his way out. Alain Saint Maxime. Let's see. Let's see. 26-year-old, 5.8, just a little bit taller than Diaz. 38 million of value. Premier League, seven. So decent, not too bad. He only played on the left. Only played on the left. Oh my God, his numbers are awful. Totally played 22, 1 goal assist, 1 goal and 5 assists. These numbers are terrible. So obviously he's not in the starting rotation. He's obviously not a starter. Only an average of 47 minutes per game. 65% accuracy in opposition half. For a winger, I think that's not very good. Let's see what Leao is. Leao probably has a low rating there as well. 7.3, not so different from Leao. Oh, sorry. Wait, that's the Champions League. Let's go to the Serie A. 7.4 for Leao in the Serie A. As you can see, very similar to Saint Maxime. 32 games, 12 goals, 7 assists. Those are good numbers. For a winger, that's very good numbers. That's almost 20 goal contribution just in the Serie A. That's what we want to see from Leao. Let's see, 68%, yeah, in opposition half. So not too different. Not too different. Overall accuracy per game, 75%. Not too different. I would like to see better numbers as far as the possession goes, but it is what it is. I want good Italian players, Christian, not any and all Italian players. I think we can all agree on that. Chiara should know better, man. He's a senior player. Yeah, it's true. Roy, Scout, Jim, and Mr. Guys, we're not doing any scouting. Tomorrow we're going to do scouting. I promise you guys, tomorrow we're going to do scouting. Right, what happens if we somehow sign Jonathan David? That'd be amazing. I think Jonathan David is actually the best signing that Milan can do, that any team can do right now, because he is a striker that is playing for a mid-level club but is now ready to make the big jump. So whoever gets his hands on Jonathan David will do a very good signing, in my opinion. I might be wrong about that, but that's just an opinion. Although he doesn't cover field quite as well because he's a bit slower and he's also a bit clumsy in tackles. I'm not sure who we're talking about. Oh, Sangar. Oh my God, Roy, have you seen America versus World Cup logo for 2026? Just came out. Looks like Puma did it. No, I haven't seen it. Roy, Etiquette? No, I don't believe so. That's a little bit of a stretch because I have seen Ekitike score some really nice goals. Now, maybe he's not living up to expectations, but comparing him to CDK's season, I think that's a little bit of a stretch. Openda is a smaller striker who's more mobile and fast on counters. I don't know if he's already a striker, maybe a Rebic replacement. Okay, I see you. Right, if you want to watch some Maxime quality, type him versus Walker. Okay. Yeah, guys, we're going to do that tomorrow. Let's sign Icardi just for the derby. All right, guys, listen, it is Europa League semi-final time. We're going to close the stream today. Right now, tomorrow, we are going to do a scout report. So let's everybody be ready for that. Italy is 1-0 ahead in its game against Spain right now. The stats are starting to be a little bit more balanced. Guys, 8 shots for for Italy, 4 on target for Italy, while Spain only has 5 shots and only 1 shot on target. Very interesting. One thing I want to say about Italy, guys, is that I've been following the youth system these past few months, from the U16 to the under 21s, and I'm very, very glad with what I'm seeing. I'm very glad with what I'm seeing. So yes, now the under 20 World Cup I think is not going. My personal opinion, I don't think is going to be good. I think Italy is going to be crushed. They're going to play against Nigeria. I think the African teams at that age, in that age bracket, are very difficult to play against. And then they're playing against Brazil in Argentina. This is in South America. And I don't know. My prediction is that the U20 is not going to do very well, but who knows? They do have some interesting players in that team. Pafundi, who is a very interesting prospect who Mancini has been calling up for the senior squad. He's only 16. You have Nasti from AC Milan. We all know Nasti. So there are some interesting players in that squad. I hope they surprise me. I'm surprised that Italy right now is winning against Spain 1-0. So I hope they surprise me. Of course, as you know, I'm a big fan of the Italian national team and the Italian national all the teams from the youth to the seniors. So yeah, that's going to be starting this weekend. Looking forward to seeing what happens there. Having said that, guys, please click that like button. Forza Milan, as always. Follow us tomorrow. We're going to do a scout report tomorrow. We're going to be looking at these players. And guys, Milan news is starting again. Me and Antonio are going to be doing Milan news on the daily, starting probably next week. Having said that, guys, everybody, hope you have a great day wherever you are. Forza Milan to everybody. Until the next one, make sure you click that like button on your way out. Alla prossima, arrivederci, and ciao.